Once again. Okay, hopefully this will, yes it does. Okay, so right off the bat, let's try this again from the top. The music that you guys hear from the background, you guys know me. I always like to give them kudos. It's Stream Beats. They're on Spotify. They allow you to use their music for their, any streaming services. You like kind of what I'm doing right now. You want something in the background. You mind me? I'm trying to adjust the camera for whatever reason. I have to aim it over there. So I'm like, what are we here? It's weird, whatever. But here we are. But anyway, yeah, I always like to give them kudos, royalty-free music. So, yes, otherwise what you'll be hearing is me and my static. Don't mind me if I look like a crazy person. Again, this has been a very trying couple weeks. I haven't had a chance to get my hair done, and this is what happens when you're a kid of like mixed ethnicity. Like it's like straight in some areas and then curly in other areas. I look like a crazy person. The humidity does not help. All right, but as usual, guys, I just want to let you know, hey, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube. I started updating stuff. It became really hard for me to do so for a couple weeks there because, again, I had so much going on. Like, just the noise alone was nauseating. Like, there were days I was sitting here with, like, ear pro because it was just that loud. So I couldn't really stream much. You could see me kind of streaming sort of like my Fallout game, but by that point of the day, my brain was just like, I just didn't want to draw. I didn't want to do anything. I was still kind of drawing on my own, but not as much as I wanted to. I was taking care of some other stuff for Astrocats, but creativity just got sucked out of me those couple weeks. As you guys know, there's the web page. It's up and running, and yes, it's HTTPS, even though you cannot see it here. Let me see. Can I get it to say HTTP? Yep, it's so HTTP. So save. You can look at it wherever you want. For right now, this is pretty much what I'm going to stick with until further I do further advancements. Instagram. What happened to Instagram? Where are you? Whoa. So you can see we do have a brand new Instagram page. The other page is still valid, but unfortunately I have no access to this. So I have to make a brand new one. The story behind that, but don't worry about it. But for most part, we started brand fresh, brand new. We pretty much got everything back up and running, and I have access to it, and I can pretty much go ahead and update it. We're also on Threads. I try to put stuff on Threads, so if y'all want to follow us there. I don't know that many people that are on Threads, but if this is your jam, I'm also on there too. I do my best to kind of put us wherever folks are at. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got on that. So, what is the objective today? Well, so there's two things that I'm trying to get done today. One is I'm trying to get back into animating. It's a time-consuming process, but that is okay. I'm okay with that. This is pretty much what I want to work on during the winter, next to finishing Haley and Ryder. And one of the things that I kind of want to do today is kind of walk a little bit through some of the stuff that I am currently doing on this. So right now it's super rough. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the music. Let me go ahead because I don't need that anymore. Boop, go away. Go away. Bye bye bye. Bye bye bye. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do some stuff. Now I don't have any fancy equipment, guys. This is an old Intuos like 2. This is how I do my stuff. I don't do anything fancy. I've had this baby almost for 20 years. I love this thing. It's taking care of me, so I take care of it. Okay. And right now I'm currently using Adobe Animate. And currently what I'm in the middle of doing is I'm trying to do the in-betweens. And at the same time, I'm also trying to make myself a list of the stuff that I need to 3D model. Like the ship right here. That's a 3D model that I have to make. So I'm making myself an asset list. So let me head over here. Let me create a new sheet. Create a new sheet. And part of this process is necessary assets, 3D, Hobbes ship. Okay. So right now you can see I'm trying to smooth this out. Anything that is blue, that's me doing like an in-between. Just kind of get the motion right. Right now I do have mostly like the hard poses down. Oh, excuse me. But in the moment, and I, by the way, I took off the what's that called, the scrubbing, because otherwise you hear is blue, 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 and we kind of don't need that at the moment. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Go ahead and set this to the side. I said today might be a little bit more boring. That's okay. But you can see right here, I'm kind of tracking. Okay, this is gonna kind of do kind of like a zoom by. It's gonna reach the camera and it's just kind of gonna go past this. It's gonna be a lot cleaner in the final version, but this just to kind of give me like a sense of timing. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my onion skins. So this is what I had before. Okay, so right here it's a dead stop because it just flies off the camera, and I'm okay with that. So it goes from here to here. Okay, so that's the new insert. And then it's supposed to hold here for a second, goes to the side. Yeah, this is a little too slow, so what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to move this frame up. I can go ahead and grab this. I can duplicate this down. And I believe it's F6 allows me to move. Yep, it's been a hot minute. So it's all coming back to me, haha. So this way it kind of shrinks down. Actually, and even that, I don't even need that. Because if it's disappearing between this and this frame, let me zoom in. Let me minimize this down. Okay, so this is the back of the ship. This is 3/4 back. So I'm gonna head over here and making sure I have that blue. I'm trying to use dark blue for my in-betweens. And I need to make sure that this is a little bit smaller for my... And again, this is just me planning. I want to smooth this out a hell of a lot more. And I kind of want to show more of like the in-between the large ship. And let me go ahead and pull out my model sheet. It's important to have those, you know. Like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I could do it without it. Yeah, it kind of helps. It kind of really, how do you say, streamlines the process. Ships. Let me go right here to Captain Hobbes' ship. And so this is a special sheet that I have created. I'm going to share this with you guys if it ever loads. Okay, so this is a special sheet that I created for Captain Hobbes' sheet. So this one I'm probably going to be using for the 3D model. It gives me the front view, back view, side view, and then this is the top and bottom, and it's what it looks like with the rocket. It's a pretty fairly simple design. The original premise came from this. This were my rough sketches. Wherever did you go? There we go. And this was the original premise that I sketched. I can't remember if I did this while I was streaming, but this is pretty much how I plan stuff. I just kind of draw spaghetti at the wall, and then I just kind of make myself notes. And this is just me kind of figuring out the movement, how big is the ship in relation to the characters. And granted, right here at the moment, this is a little bit... it looks a little larger, or the ship looks a hell of a lot smaller than what it actually is, but that is okay. That is okay. So, because right now, like I said, we're just kind of just throwing spaghetti at the wall, but you can see back here, there's a huge booster. This is the booster behind the ship. This is on that 3/4 view. And again, this is just me just roughing it out. I am not worried about this looking beautiful by any means of the imagination. Then we have the boosters right here on the side. It's around halfway through the ship. We have booster. And I will go back in and I will clean this out a little bit. Oh, actually, that is, so there is a slight arc to this. There we go. Alright, there we go. So that kind of gives me a rough idea. I'm going to turn off my onion skin so I can kind of clean this out a little bit. And I'm going to use the eraser tool. I'm going to kind of make this a little bigger. This is one of the things that I kind of hated about Flash. Keep in mind that Flash wasn't originally an Adobe product. Flash used to be owned by Micromedia. Back in my day, because I was an animation student around 2001 to 2004, and then eventually I started working in the industry early on. And this is around the time that the industry transitioned. And you can look all this up. This is not, it's not like a secret. And eventually, Flash was dominating. That's when you had like things like Newgrounds, and people used to use Flash to make web pages. Believe it or not, back in my day, that was the thing. People used to make Flash games and all kinds of stuff. Now they're using like Unity and all kinds of like crazy. God, I do look crazy. I need to get my hair down. I'm sorry. I just keep looking at my hair. I am. Listen, I have very few things that I care about, and my hair is one of them. I hate looking like I'm unkept. Now that I'm saying that I wear bougie makeup and stuff, but my hair, my I like cleanliness. My fingernails need to be clean, and my hair needs to be clean and look presentable. That is just something that is ingrained in me. So I'll probably get my hair treated sometime in the spring, because right now my body's a little too anemic, and I want to kind of get going on Astrocats. I want to put some investment in. Okay, so go back over here. So this is what it looks like. So the ship's going by, bam, and you can see that it's kind of blasting off from there. So I'm trying to do that right there. So from there, I'm going to continue. And again, this just kind of, I know it seems kind of silly to go back in and do in betweens, but it kind of helps me get the timing down, and maybe I will need it down the line. Who knows? Okay, goes up the screen. The planets are going by, and not that where we can see the color change in the background. Okay, so that's another asset I need to add to my 3D list. Planets, and oops. I'm using Google Sheets for this. You can use things such as like Boot Camp. Boot Camp would allow you to, if I was working with a team, it would allow me to set up a workflow and then have like multiple people work on a project. But since it's just me, I'm just gonna do basic Excel spreadsheets, because that it just kind of helps me organize what I need to do. Planet 2, and then come up with some of the texture maps on that, and I'm gonna make this right justified. Come on, baby. We know we could do this. I hate how some things you can't see the full tool set unless you like expand it. Like, why you gotta be like this? Yeah, and today's gonna be a little bit of a short run again. I'm really starting to get back into my rhythm. And so you guys could see I'm not doing anything crazy, like necessary 3D acid, Hobbes ship, planets, planet 1, planet 2, because I'm looking at this, I'm going through. So you can see these two planets just went by, planet 1, planet 2. And then what I got going on in here, because some of these I've not looked at them. So you see Hobbes flying in. And then, so this one, there's probably going to be a hold here. So he's probably going to be kind of like swaying left to right, which is fine. So, and this is going to be very, very, how do you say, very minimal motion. Let me see if I can BS it here a little bit. So, a little bit to the left. And then let's go ahead and rotate it. And it might not work out as good as I think it will. Copy frame. Paste frame. It might just look like he's just jittering all over the screen. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, he just looks like he's jittering through the screen. So, okay, so let's undo. That's fine. So let's go over here. He kind of floats up and down, and then from here he starts turning around. So for him to hit this point, let's go ahead and kind of add a frame right around here. F7, so I get a blank frame. I'm also going to do so he's going from looking forward to looking to the side. I know it looks like a little bit like a mess, but that's okay though. So side view, front view. Let me turn this on and off. Oh, thank you for auto saving computer. You can't see it, but I can. Okay. Okay, so the good part is there is a line in between these two. And I've been getting a lot of like fun inspiration in my head. Like I love animation. I went back. I'm currently back. I'm rewatching Etta and Eddie. I just rewatched. Kind of watching Down to Dan, which is fantastic because I love. It has a very foodie cootie energy, and I keep saying this, but it's true. It's got a foodie cootie energy mixed with Kill la Kill, which I love. Studio Trigger stuff. Like they're just, their stuff is absolutely great. And what I'm doing here, I'm trying to follow this facial line right here. There's like a slight facial line there. And there's nose 1, nose 2. Here's nose 3. There's the mouth open. And then, so there's beginning, end. So it's going to be somewhere in between these two right here. And the mouth won't be as, it'll be slightly closing. So there's I1. And then I2 will be somewhere around here. So I1, I2. So going from looking forward, kind of looking right at us. And again, a lot of this is going to change, that's okay. Eyebrow 1, eyebrow 2. And it's just to kind of give me a rough estimate where this is going to go. Okay. And then right here, peak 1, peak 2. And again, I'm super rusty, guys. I used to like do this for fun, like my own little skits late at night, just for myself. And I miss it. I terribly miss this industry. But man, I'm 43 years old. I need to have medical insurance. It sounds terrible, but remember the intro to that movie Soul? Like that's my reality. Like I kind of gave up my dream to be able to take care of my parents and be able to put food on the table. And while part of me regrets it, the other part of me says that I'm okay with it because it allows me to enjoy doing my own projects, my own personal projects afterwards the way that I want it. Not having to sell my creativity. I mean, technically, I'm still selling my creativity, but in a much, much, much different way. Mostly in data analysis and how to look at stuff. It's interesting. It's not. I'll be honest. It is not a terrible job. It's just a lot of data. A lot of data. A lot of data. So much data. Okay, so right here, I want to turn this off for a second. And again, it's going to look kind of crude. And I am okay with that. I'm just trying to get that See, I'm trying to get that quasi head turn. I am not worried about getting it perfect. Okay, go from there, go to here, turn the onion skins back on. I'm looking for that line. So normally this tends to go right around there. Turn that off. Let me check out that hair. Okay, so I might need more. So I'm probably gonna add a little more here. So that way you're starting to see that division between the hair and that. Okay, so that takes care of that part. Okay, and let's take a look at the body. And this I'm probably gonna do more puppet rigging down the line. But for right now, I'm just trying to, like I said, just trying to get me to. Okay, so the body doesn't really move much, which is great. That's what I'm working right now. So I see. So it's right, the middle is right around here. And I'm trying to find my midpoints. Technically, there's a belt here. That's his suit. That's the midpoint there. That's the midpoint of these two legs here. Again, this will change. And then this is the midpoint for this right here. You can see there's one arm, there's the other arm there. That right there. And so he's going from arm down, so it's kind of hard to see because he's going from arm down to like that mid, so from here to here to here. So that like, hey, come this way. So I'm gonna have to kind of turn from hand down to inside of hand. So that should give me that. Let's see. And this is kind of like animate. Like I said, it's most of what I did was cleanups. I did a lot of inking or a lot of coloring during the production. Like I said, I did a lot of my stuff on my own time. And but like I worked on Polly Pocket's Poly World. I was one of the storyboard artists. I got to do a couple videos for South America. I did a music video for Eastern Conference Champions. It was a one-time ban. It's a really cool rotoscoping video. I got to do a little mini projects that got sent to Sundance. Later in my career, I was very fortunate to be part of a team that had a submission for a Telly Award, but I was more for a documentary. Yeah, so I done some stuff. Nothing like, oh, I got to work on, this major show. But you know what? I don't complain because this whole time I've been able to put food on the table. And I have not gone hungry. I'm not gone mostly hungry. Because, as you can see by the double chin, I don't have that problem no more. But, yep. Okay, so, there we go. So let's go ahead and turn that off. Yeah, so it's going to pull out a little bit. There we go. So I'm trying to go for that. So probably right here, I'm going to do another keyframe right here. Oops, yep. And actually, let's do F6. And what we could do is that we can grab part of this frame with the onion scan. I'm going to turn this bad boy on, and I'm going to spread this out to one more frame. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. I'm going to make it a hair bigger. Shift. Make it a hair bigger. Okay, and this way from here, he should be starting to... No, that plan backfired. Okay. Okay. You know what? Start from scratch. Yep. Let's go back to F6. Excuse me, F7. To add a blank keyframe. Because at this point, he should start, he waves at them. And then as he's waving at them, he's starting to turn his head back towards us. So let's go ahead and go back in here. So we're going to have, there's a mid-size head. You can see there's one, there's two. So at this point, he is going to start turning. And then there's peak, 1, peak 2, so it'll be somewhere here. And I know the slicing is not consistent, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know, trust me. I'm creating, but again, this is just me roughing out basic movements. Like I say, and I hate the fact that I have to make both the brushes for the erase and brush tool the same. I was like, why? Why, Flash? This is why people don't animating you anymore. But it's the tool that I have available right now. So, and then so what I'm probably going to do here, because he's going from looking to the side to moving to the front. And then, so what I'm going to have him do here is that there will be a blink. Mostly because when you're moving from especially no one sits there with their eyes open the whole time. Nobody does. And sometimes what people tend to do when they change directions of what they're paying attention to, sometimes they will blink. It's not always the case, but I've kind of, I love observing people. I know that sounds really creepy. There's just no other way to put that. And he's starting to smile again because his friends are coming. That sounds terrible, no matter which way I say it. They're starting to come up to introduce themselves. Again, I will probably fix this a little bit more. Okay, so we've got that right there. And let's do that. So that gives you that. And then set over here. Okay. And so right here, you're going from someone who's waving up to, again, they're starting to go up. So I'm trying to get the camera right. So they're trying to go, hey, come here, to now they're kind of reversing. So they're going backwards. So you're going to see part of their hand coming back a little bit. And this hand can go back a little bit as well. Because remember, as he's moving around, because he's flying, he's also kind of bouncing his body. I'm not to worry about the details right now. I just want to make sure that I get the basic masses done correctly. Oh. Raise tool. So we got, oops, again, I hate that. Like I said, this is me doing this for fun. I no longer do this professionally. And I said it hurts, but I like having health insurance. Sorry, not sorry, because it's a really brutal industry and it's a young man's game. I'm in my 40s. I mean, most places wouldn't even look at me unless they can pay me dirt. So there's this size and that size. So probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. I think it's a little too big. So let me grab everything. Go ahead, grab this, and I'm going to make him just a little smaller. So there's a nice smooth transition between these two. And that's the one beauty about doing this digitally. No. That's not what I wanted. Escape. Okay. It's coming up. Maybe if I move this down a little bit. And some of this, I won't even get to see it. Okay, so now I need to start looking at some of that timing, because I don't want it to go too off the grid. Too many frames are bad as well. Okay, so let's start back over here a little bit. Okay. So let me start from the beginning, because again, I'm going to start looking at this. Okay, so this part right here seems to be flowing a lot smoother to me. Yeah, so that's a lot smoother to me. And then so this right here, let's go back. And this is pretty much what animating is. You're going back and forth. But instead of going back with the paper, going, then you just kind of going over here. So that is looking definitely a lot smoother. What I probably want to do is probably hold this, because again, I want him to be waving up here for a minute. And then there we go. Just figuring out your timing. I know people have like the little numbers thing. Honestly, that's the professional way to do it. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. I'll be straight honest, it just doesn't. So, but if you see the pros doing it, do what the pros do. Don't do what this person as a hobbyist does it now. Does it? Was that even English? Yeah, but normally what it is you have a timing, and it's the person figure out if the person's moving slower, they'll have like an arch. And normally, I should have drawn that. You have an arch, so the faster the person moves, the less ticks you're gonna see on the arch. The slower the person moves, then the more ticks you're gonna see in the arch, and you're gonna see a increase and crescendo and decrescendos within the movements. You start seeing them kind of like, if I'm doing this and there's like a slowdown, so this right here will be slower coming up, and then as it goes right here, it's gonna snap. So it's gonna be slower on the uptick, so more drawings will require. The snap at the end will require less drawings. So, but that's going back to like traditional animation when you draw in like ones and twos. Now people just do a lot of shortcut animation and a lot of tweens. Mostly, I mean, that comes back from the Hanna-Barbera days. So that has been around for a hot minute. Okay, so for this one, we should be able to fudge this one out a little bit, because we just want to do like a slow transition by just making him just a little bigger and nudging him up. And then what we start doing is here, what we could do is for the arms, because again, this is a rough, this ain't perfect, this ain't beautiful, this is just for me to get the beat down.